You want to make people happy.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten to the point now where I just don't give a shit. I didn't know that was possible in me to not care. And like, I do care. Like, I want to make sure that my product is good.
What's the dumbest thing you had a customer ask you to do?
There's so many of them. There is a low percentage of us that started off in with the idea that we were going to do business, right? It's not something that we planned on. We started our field of expertise doing one thing, and then it moved over to entrepreneurial mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a low percentage. Most guys are like you. They get really good at plumbing and then say, hey, I should run my own company instead of work for, the guy with my last name who doesn't know how to run no offense, Keenan. No. Most guys start out like that. They get a lot of experience painting or doing plumbing, or in my field, they work for somebody else building websites or doing advertising and marketing for years, and then wait till they get fed up to start a business.
Fed up, yeah, that's a good way to it really happens. And that's kind of how it happened for me too. I mean, it always had it in my mind.
I guess I'm the opposite. I'm the 1%er or whatever, that I always knew I wanted to have a business. I just didn't know what business I was going to do.
I did. It got beat out of me,
Yeah.
It was something that I did want to do for a while. But
you were a dreamer.
Let's dive back into this subject. Hey guys, welcome to the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Pomeroy, here with co-host Ryan McKee.
Welcome.
Maybe I should have put your name first. Is it like sending out a wedding invitation? You never want it to be completely wrong. Is it your name first?
I've only ever sent out the one wedding invitation like 18 years ago, so I don't even know how that works.
That's true. You probably can't even remember what it said.
I didn't go to etiquette school. Did you? You learn how to walk with a book on your head?
Well, I was born in England, so etiquette just comes naturally with our nature.
I don't even know which fork to use when I go to a fancy restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Or knife. Steakhouses make it so complicated.
Oh, yeah. Too many forks and knives. That's when you know you're going to have a good meal, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. So diving in today, we're talking about, first part of the year, January, whatever date it is today. And
it's the first, right?
No.
Can I re-rack?
We are looking to just create a great content for this year for our listeners in business, entrepreneurial mindset, what they need to do, whether they're thinking about starting a business, whatnot. And something that came to our mind, obviously talking about, I didn't go into business with this was the game plan all along. There was a very small period, a window of time from 18 to 25 where I was like, yeah, I'm going to go start my own company.
Right, yeah.
But it worked for some really bad people. I was like, well, forget it. I'm not doing this. And then got my confidence back later on, and this kind of just accidentally happened. I don't know whether I would have. I'm glad I did, but I don't know whether I would have necessarily if I'd have continued to be treated well at the companies that I worked for.
Yeah, who knows? If you had a halfway decent boss, you might still be making $25 an hour turning somebody else's wrenches, huh?
But it's pretty easy though, right? I mean, to go from just working for someone to running a company, I mean, anyone can do it.
Yeah, even me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
anyone can do it. I think a lot of people start the way you did. You started, kind of a one-man show. You were self-employed. You just got going and started, basically owned your own job. And it took a year or two and some changes in circumstances for you to decide, oh, hey, I actually want to build an empire and a big business rather than just own my job and maybe employ one or two guys and run a pretty successful plumbing company, right?
A couple of years. It was like 3 months.
Oh, yeah. You're on the fast track. That's good.
Due to my impatience, yeah. But how many guys, now going back to that self-employment thing, though, how many guys do we know? And then there's a couple books on this, right? If you read Richard Kiyosaki.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks about it in there, right, of the 4 different levels of actually running a company.
Yep.
And the self-employed thing, usually what happens is you are doing better than you would be if you were working for someone else, but you will be working forever. It's just you don't have to take crap from anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, you own a job and the job still runs you and dictates the schedule to you.
And most guys do that and go work for themselves because they got tired of the way that somebody else was doing it, or they could feel like they could do it better.
Yep.
And we all know people like that, and they're obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, you were talking before about getting talked out of being, you know, running a company by all these bad bosses and stuff like that. Everybody's good at complaining. I think sometimes business owners are the worst because we don't have a boss to complain about or two. So we just
Or
complain.
just go straight to God. you
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
know? Yeah.
hopefully they're going straight to God. Mostly, I feel like
A business owner, when
they come to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm paying you for one thing. You'll listen to my
A business
problems,
owner
right?
to eat his meet his equal. He's got to talk to the Almighty. You know? Is
All right,
that
Father.
you, Lord?
Yeah. So they complain a lot, and you think, why would I ever want to own a business? You know, they work more hours. They, you know, they're always complaining about the taxes and the expenses and all these things about running a business. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
And so people who maybe otherwise would have started a business,
I think
don't.
this is decaf.
I mean,
it just dawned on me. I think that's decaf.
All right, cut. No, I'm just- start over. It tastes good. I mean, you know, we can tell it's a year old, but it's not Pipe and Torch coffee, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you to our sponsors, Pipe and Torch. We'll get our next order of Pipe and Torch coffee in here soon, I guess. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That might be a couple years, 2 or 3 months. Just depends on my mood. But anyway, back to what you were saying. Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, a lot of business owners own their job. They don't really take ownership of it. They just say, "Well, this is what my customers want, and this is what I have to do to make money." They don't want to, you know, put in the legwork that guys like you have done to say, okay, I don't just want to own my job. I don't want to have 2 or 3 guys. I want to have, you know, 10 guys per shop. And, you know, in the next 5 years, I want to open 7 more offices of this business. And, oh, by the way, I'm also brainstorming a coffee company and a marketing company, and you know, what else did you talk about? Oh,
there's
Unrivaled Tree Service. Shout out to Paul at Hummingbird.
There's definitely like 3 pages worth of ideas that I have put off.
And that's half of my job is getting Mike not to waste time and money on the ideas that are next year and not next month.
Yeah. So two different sides. I'm in the trades. You're in marketing, right? What was a transition that you had to make, Ryan, from, you know, this was your first year. You went from working comfortable, you know, some discomfort because it was commissions based, right? But and putting yourself out there. But what was the main thing that you noticed on a mindset shift that you had to take from working for a company to ownership?
In the day-to-day work, I was surprised because I thought, okay, I'm going from a sales position to, you know, owning my own company where I'll be responsible for all or most of the fulfillment. I thought I was going to be sitting behind a computer a lot, sitting there, you know, building websites and doing social content and things like that.
Solitaire, Acom. Yeah.
I don't even know if my computer has Solitaire, so we'll see. But
you can't get rid of it. It's like trying to delete one of those stupid apps on your phone that just comes up with every update.
You can't delete the App Store off your off your iPhone. Because where would you go to download it again? Anyway, so I thought, okay, my job now is to create content, create deliverables, and that was okay for a little bit because I kind of started with a built-in customer base. And then I quickly realized if I was going to grow at all, I had to go back into the sales role and go out and, you know, meet strangers and convince them that A, they needed advertising and marketing, and B, that I was the guy that should deliver it. So, you know, you talk about how the first year went. Well, now I'm kind of figuring out where the happy medium is and what do I want to hire and what do I want to do myself, to figure out, okay, where am I most profitable? And it can't be selling all the time because then I'll lose customers on fulfillment. But I also can't be fulfilling all the time because, you know, if you just take natural attrition, if you lose 1 or 2 customers, you know, a quarter or something like that, because, you know, they go out of business or they, you know, only used you for a short-term project or something like that, and they don't need you right away. Well, pretty soon I'll have 2 customers and, you know, you can't afford, you know, my wife's lifestyle. So, that's why we still don't have the new refrigerator, but, so I'm still figuring that out, but it was a big transition to go from, hey, just go sell, sell, sell. Don't worry about whether or not it gets taken care of or not, which I did a lot of the fulfillment anyway, but to, hey, it's all on you. And now you got to figure out when do you fit those hours in?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty different from being a plumber going to managing guys and then managing a system like we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, but I got more time than you, right? I mean, we're 3 years on this. Not more time in life in general. I've had,
You're a little
I
younger.
mean, I
than
got
me.
more time than you. Yeah, just because you're so old.
Does your watch work different? I got 24. What do you got?
Yeah. But I've had more time,
Well,
right?
you're single, so you do have more time.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Just like to twist the knife, you know?
Yeah. You're just like her. Good job. Yeah. So it's one of those. Yeah, I've had 3 years, right, to get to this point where I am managing a system now. And when I was thinking about this subject earlier, and who I've had to become. I mean, 3 years ago, I was such a people pleaser, and I didn't even realize it, because in the line of work that we have, which is both customer based products that we offer, you want to make people happy.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten to the point now where I just don't give a shit. and I didn't realize
Edit that part out, Kyle.
I didn't realize I didn't know that was possible in me to not care. And like, I do care. Like, I want to make sure that my product is good, and but it's also good enough. And that was something that, perfectionist in my trade and my skill that I had perfected over 15 years. To then get to the point where it's not good enough in a bad way, but like, it's okay. And it will work great. It's going to work well. I can warranty this work. It didn't have to just keep getting better and better and better, because then you have to train somebody else and they have to come in and put their own flair on it and all those things, right?
Well, and sometimes when the customer isn't happy, you don't have to drop everything, bend over backwards and run to them.
Yeah.
You know now, like, no, we did a good job. It's satisfactory. It's what you agreed to and agreed to pay.
And the systems,
we have other customers we're going to go take care of, and you can just
systems allow that process, that mental relaxation to actually happen. Procedures and hiring people, all of those things, as you slowly put them into place, it's like a huge sigh of relief every time. Like, I have pictures. It looks good. It's been 10 days over a year or whatever like that. And it's not that I don't care, but I care enough, and that's where it needs to be. But I didn't realize I could do that, because it was always customer called. I was there, and I did that for a year and a half until burnout or life happened, and I just didn't want to do that anymore. And so now, it is. It's managing a system, and everyone knows their role, and it's well trained, and it's documented, and there's been so much effort and time. That's what I was doing this morning, documenting things that I do so that I can pass it off. Right?
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that, you've watched me struggle with saying no to things, and I there's things that I know, and I'm really good at this. I know that there's other people better than me at the positions that are in this company, and we've got enough positions now. Heck, we got 15 people, and they all have their own specific role. To sit there and think, which I don't, but I mean, I've had the thoughts opposite of that, to imagine that I can, technically I can do everyone's job, but to imagine that I could do it better than anyone, that's a level of conceit that some people
even
have.
Beyond you.
Even beyond me, yeah. I've got an ego just as bad as the next guy, but to think that, and I've never been really bad at that, to think that I just jump in and help wherever I can, but I realize I'm not helping now when I get to that point.
Right. Yeah. Your version of help sometimes has crippled some of these people. It's allowed them to say, "Oh, Mike's got it," instead of, "Oh, I need to figure this out." Because I think that's the biggest skill that successful business owners either have or learn, and the failures don't. Is business owning is just solving problems. It's solving your customer's problem.
It is.
It's solving your own problems. It's solving your employees' problems, and figuring out the best system that will solve as many of those problems as possible without you having to trade hours for dollars.
And that is very ungratifying to a
Yeah,
certain
once you've
degree.
got it solved
Yeah.
and something else works, it's gratifying at first. You're like, yeah, cool.
Until
And
the
then
next
you're
big
like,
problem gets thrown on your desk. And then you're like, man, I don't want to fix problems all day long like this, right?
yep.
Well, and a part of it is because I don't know them, right? 3 years into this, I was 15 years into plumbing before I could walk into every single job and know what was going on, right? And so I've looked at it from that point of view too. I'm still an apprentice in the business world. And so now I have to like restart a career because it wasn't as simple as, I mean, going back to what we were originally talking about, it wasn't as simple as going from a plumber to a good business owner. Business owner is a whole new career.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. Nobody told me that, you know?
No,
Yeah.
they didn't tell you that.
No, they just said it's a bad idea, but it's a whole new career.
Oh, they just said it was a bad idea.
Yeah. And I go, oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you have people try to talk you out of going into business for yourself
Yeah, I had some
besides your former boss?
bosses. Yeah, I mean, just kind of, you just didn't want to be them, right?
Right, yeah.
That was a huge part. And when I started this, I had a couple of friends, but not real close ones. I had one friend go into business at the same time as me, and we used it as a competition. And then shout out to you, buddy. I'm still kicking your ass. And
Aren't you trying to acquire his business, or am I thinking of somebody else?
somebody else, yeah,
Okay.
different guy. Yeah. And but we're working on that process too. It's just a different state.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So a couple people, he never did. We just used it as a great competition. So I had a lot of encouragement, and at that time, I had already learned not to listen, to be careful who I was listening to. I still, even then, for the first couple years, I listened to a lot of customers. I
Oh
listened
yeah.
to a lot.
You're charging too much.
Yeah, listen to a lot of clients, and they're like, "Hey, this is what you should do." And then I learned how to take that advice well, and obviously with a heavy grain of salt, go through again, and then learn what I needed to learn. We lost a lot of clients, right, in our transition, but now we're helping a lot more clients as a whole. And so I did definitely learn that, and then learned how to not to listen to the bad people in life, right, and then the customers that started calling in, and other people in my life that would complain about what was going on. And it's like, well, you just got to push forward. And, you know, that David Goggins, he says that quote, and I've told you this before, but I said, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. Right.
Yep, absolutely.
And I really took that to heart. Somebody complaining, hear what they're saying, but if they're attacking me personally, I've got no time for you.
Yeah. And the expression that you made me think of just now is, if you wouldn't ask for their advice, don't take their criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah, because half these people are losers who have never done anything anyway, but they're like, oh, you shouldn't do this in your business.
Yeah, closed-minded. And the business owners are the worst. I have gotten more complaints and more advice that I've never asked for by phone by business owners that are like, yeah, well, this isn't what I do, so you shouldn't do that. And like, well, maybe
I've never heard of your business.
Yeah.
And that's in business, that's typically a bad thing, unless you're in like cybersecurity and you don't want anybody to know you're there or whatever.
Yeah, a guy doing 20, 30 years in business and management and stuff. Huge complainers. So upset, and I've made sure I'm not that business owner, right? You want people to work with us, even this crew out here, right? You want them to be happy. These guys, I don't know where you're staring at.
Oh,
the two in the room.
Shout out
producers.
to DLC for their video production capabilities.
I mean, this is what, third time we've worked with them now, and they seem to like it. So it's like I don't want to sit there and, hey, Drew, you're doing your business wrong. Like, why would it? What a stupid thing to do. Like, you hired, we hired them. Why would you complain about it? And I have business owners that hire me and then go, no, you should have done it this way.
Yeah.
Like, why did you call me in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll always strive to be your best customers, asking for your opinion and not just looking for yeses and things like that.
It's like hiring your wife to do photography. Amazing job. And she's like, I mean, absolutely incredible. And she knows exactly what she does. And she asks, like, well, how do you want to stand? I was like, that's what you do. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she'll just tell us how to stand in this way and that way. And I'm like, that is her job. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, I saw this thing on
Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest, and I had my hips just like this, and it made me look like I lost 10 pounds and whatever else, and all the whatever weird angles that they do. And they're like, I'm not out to tell you how to do your job. Just do what you do, right?
Yeah.
And I need more clients like
I
that.
was gonna say we all need more customers like that. Like, hell, I trust you. Just do what we're supposed to do. She always jokes because she's had customers who say, I meant to lose 25 pounds. Can you make it look like I did? Or we wanted the sun to be over here. Can you fix that? And it's like, no, I can't fix the sun, and I can't fix your fat ass. It's not a magic camera. What's the like the dumbest thing you had a customer ask you to do?
Oh, there's so many of them. When they try to barter, probably right now, out of
you want a snowmobile?
Our customers, right? They try to, it's really difficult when they've watched a video and they're like, hey, I saw this done at my friend's house, and then you have to tell them that their friend was an idiot, and if their house burns down in the next 6 months, they'll be lucky if it doesn't, right? But so most of our clients are just in ignorance of the amount of skill it actually takes to be a plumber, and so
especially certain lawyers.
So there's certainly some, and then those conversations are normally led by middle-aged white men that did their own plumbing, and they can't. Well, John had one just the other day where
hashtag me too.
The fittings were in backwards, and so he put a snake down the line, the sewer machine, and it came up out through the roof. And nobody realized. They're like, well, I did it all myself, and it's been working fine for 20 years, and then it clogs up, and you can't get one of those sewer machines down there if you've installed the drain lines incorrectly. If you put the fitting in backwards, then it'll never clear out. It'll just keep going the wrong way. And it's something as simple as that.
So you have to tell him, hey, you need a repipe, and he's like, no, I just want the $20 fix, right?
Yeah, arguing with someone like that is difficult, and then you have a hard time keeping your patience. But I've had customers barter with me after installs have been completed. Like, well, you didn't actually, you didn't work that long.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the best one. I got it done faster than I thought I would.
Yeah. So
okay, then I'm gonna pay you.
How about I pay you this, and it'll come up with a number out of nowhere. I've
got a picture of a guy we know in my mind.
Yeah, and those are really difficult conversations. Of this makes no sense, and then that same thing. Business owner of several hotels. Fixed something so he could get his kitchen back online, and he's like, well, I'm not going to pay you that because you got it done too quickly, and we weren't supposed to go online. We had the whole kitchen closed down that day anyway, so we weren't advertising. I was like, well, it's not my fault. You had 5 hours you could have cooked food, and
oh, by the way, you literally signed for that price.
I've never met so many grown men in their late 50s and 60s that just hang up the phone without finishing a conversation. And they're looking for a reason to get angry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't think that was a thing.
That's the guy that I was talking about, not literally that person, but that guy, that I was talking about earlier, that makes people not want to own businesses. That they're like, man, owning businesses must suck because these guys are always cranky, overtaxed, overworked, undersexed, all these things. They're just bitter.
Undersexed, yeah.
I mean, I know that's a problem with business owners, but it makes people think, heck no, I'm just going to go punch a clock and work 9 to 5, go home with no worries, and maybe a little less money, but I'll keep my sanity. And so it drives young people and middle-aged people and all kinds of people away from getting out and really doing something.
Most people in the trades, yours is a little bit different, but still putting in the hours. For guys out there, they're working 60 hours a week, working for a company, feeling burned out. 60 hours a week is nothing compared to what it took to build this to where it is now, to where I'm 40 hours a week. Right. 40 to 50, right? The amount of effort.
Mike doesn't actually do any work, really.
Yeah, just sit around. But if you're working 60 hours for a company and you're like, forget this, the overtime's great and whatever else, you're just tired and you're burned out, and that's getting you in the mindset of thinking that you're going to go off on your own. It's nothing compared to what it took. Now, going to self-employment, as long as you're good at saying no, perfectly possible.
Yeah.
As long as you're priced right, not a big deal. But if you want to start hiring a couple of guys and you got a bigger plan, I mean, the hours I put in, it was easily 100 hours a week for well over a year of in the field, in the office to create what we have now. And I can leave at 4:30. But there was many times it was here till 2 a.m,
Yeah, that's
or
right.
out in Crested Butte till 3 a.m. or whatever, right?
Feet freezing to the floor in Gunnison, Colorado.
Yeah, the efforts you put in. You're not, and tradesmen really aren't scared of the work. It was more difficult for me to do the office work and the computer side, which is more easier for you, from your skill set. You're
Right. Yeah.
way better at the computer than I am.
Yeah, it's one of the, I guess, surprising challenges for me has been staying organized. And because my personality is, I'm a good salesman, and a lot of us salespeople are disorganized in general.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me, time blocking and making sure that I keep good records of, hours used and finances and stuff like that, that's where I've had to say, okay, yeah, build a system, stick to it, but also this is the first thing I need to hire is a good bookkeeper to, you know, keep me honest, because I'll just be like, yeah, that sounds about right. Let's call it a good, and you can't do that in business.
Well, it's the
You'll be out
best.
of business.
The bookkeeping is the best investment that you can get, because you can go back to what you're good at. Finally, in this, right, 3 years in, I've created a position that I know I'm the best at. It can't be recreated right now in this company. I'm sure it could eventually. Right now, I have.
Carry on.
I have.
Sorry, did my eyebrow interrupt you?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on over there? I thought maybe you had to fart, but so that the
Might need some sound effects on that one, Kyle.
yeah. So I finally created a position that I am good at, and nobody else.
I finally found a job I'm okay at.
Exactly. Yeah. And inside of all this,
HDIC, right? Head dick in charge.
oh yeah, I mean it works well, but it's so administrator, getting that bookkeeper allowed me to go make more money.
Oh yeah.
And that's really, it's like, okay, what's important right now? Organization or revenue? Well, both of them at the same time. So you hire somebody, you can go out and easily offset that cost with just a peace of mind by having.
And typically it's so much easier to hire a office person, administrator, bookkeeper, something like that. There are a lot of people with good skills in that area. There aren't as many good people with good skills in sales or visionary, basically your role now, where you're guiding the ship and setting the course and things like that. That's a lot harder to hire than bookkeeper.
Well, yeah, because to find somebody like that, you'd be $250,000 a year or something. That's actually,
That's the other problem with people like us.
Me,
We know we've got a certain standard of living we like to keep, and
yeah, we want a paycheck for some weird reason. Yeah, and I finally got one. I don't want to give it up now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Flowers for Algernon.
Yeah.
I had a good question and I lost it, so
I doubt it.
it's about right. Yeah. I was actually, it was thinking of, okay, how do we transition out of this and say, see you next week? But
Oh, yeah. Well, moving into this is part one of what the difference is between the employee and owner, and then next week we'll dive back into this same subject and just a little bit deeper on what the stretch can take to get that, huh?
yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So you were talking about, you put in, 100 hours a week for over a year to basically catapult your business from self-employment to really truly being a business owner and having the system and stuff and having the revenue to allow you to build that system. Because system's great, but if you can't afford the people who run it, who cares, right?
Right.
That really lays into, what you were talking about is, okay, be willing to commit that 100 hours a week, or be willing to wait 3 to 5 years longer, because
True. Yeah.
Success is attainable for just about anybody as long as you continually put in effort.
I'm too impatient.
The faster you put in those hours, like the faster you accumulate those 10,000 hours, the faster you get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Hormozy's like, yeah, if you want to have Saturdays and you want to, have a life and stuff like that, well, get out. We're not for you. Okay, cool. That's not, I've got 5 kids and a wife, so I'm not going to put in 100 hours a week.
Right.
But I still want to hit those high levels. I just know, okay, I'm not going to hit $1 million next year. I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer because I'm not going to put in the hours. But I'm also going to cheat and use force multipliers like software, AI, technology, and hiring people.
You just got to have the income to do that. But you can definitely create it quickly. I had an opportunity and I took it instead of wasting it. And it wasn't enjoyable, but at least I turned it into an opportunity, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. When you find yourself with extra time, put it into your business and not your, softball team or your, gambling habit, whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Way to diss on my gambling habit. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I hate gambling. I don't know. I guess it's just the Puritan raising in me. I guess I don't know. But
Must be.
Yeah, that I'm.
But you got a tramp stamp.
Penny.
Yeah.
Tune in next week when I'll prove it.
Yeah. Is that a pineapple? Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. Apparently, it's better than a starfish, though.
No, you don't want a starfish back there. That actually means something, I think.
Yeah.
My last unit I was in the Army before I got out.
Move right from starfish into a military story.
It ties
That's
right
fantastic.
in.
Yeah. Sure, something. Anyway. Yeah.
So this group of guys had been together for like 3 years because they had deployed to Iraq for 18 months, got stop lost, and then when I got there, we went on our second deployment. And so everybody pretty much stuck together because there wasn't time to permanently change stations and get out of Fort Hood, which is, for a lot of guys, the, return to life is getting out of Fort Hood. Anyway, this guy, everybody knew him before I got there. And his call sign was Tango Sierra. I was like, what's Tango Sierra? And he's like, tramp stamp. Ask him about it. And I swear to God, it was still don't ask, don't tell in that time period in the Army. And so I was not going to ask him about that. But, you go to Fort Polk and everybody's, in a cot 5 inches away. And I can attest he did have a tramp stamp. But where was it going? Anyway, long story short,
5 inches away. Yeah.
Well, I know how to measure 5 inches. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is, kids.
Everyone made it home safe and nobody got pregnant. Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful note to end on here at the Unrivaled Potential Podcast. Tune in next week when we'll share all the real wisdom about how to go from working 9 to 5 to being a business owner and not just a self-employed struggling loser.
No.
That was harsh, wasn't it?
That was a little harsh.
All right.
Kind of under the belt there.
I love those guys too. I mean,
they're normally grumpy and overworked, right? Usually,
Yes.
if it's a self-employed person, they're grumpy, overworked, and you can only spend a certain amount of time with them. And you don't want to be that. And I could have been that too. You could have as well, or still am at some moments, right? But you definitely.
I make my own weather. I'm always happy.
If we'd have been where we were 6 months ago, right? I was overworked and exhausted and couldn't keep up. And I've learned how to pass those things off to where I can actually enjoy myself and coming into work. Like discipline brings me into work every day. It wasn't every day it was enjoyable. And, and if I'm not enjoying myself, well, then nobody's enjoying being around me. That's just human nature. You can't fake it.
Yep. And like Abe Lincoln said, man's about as happy as he makes his mind up to be. So.
Oh, bullshit. Is that really a quote?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was a Google thing.
Yeah. Abe Lincoln.
Ben Franklin said, whatever you see on the internet's true. I thought it was maybe something like that. I didn't realize.
I think it was Abe Lincoln, but yeah.
Oh, good.
But I think it applies whether it was him or not. You can look at the guy who's making $1.5 million and no real stress in his life, and he's still pissed off at everything. Trump this, Biden that, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can look at the guy who barely making ends meet, starving to death, and he's like, yeah, God's good.
Well, the first guy watched the news. The second guy didn't.
Oh,
more
he couldn't
cheerful
afford
in
he couldn't
life, yeah.
afford cable, so he's
Yeah.
not watching MSNBC.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Please like, subscribe, and share this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the pineapple is a symbol for swinging.